I just really remember not wanting to fall over. I'm quite clumsy, so I was really worried about it. It's really hard to see a future in music if you're thinking like, well, what I make will be actually worthless.
The doors are closing. It can mean one thing and one thing only, that we are back in the IFS Cloud Cable Car for another Conversations in the Cloud. My name is Ore, that is Kate Nash. That is Kate Nash, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute legend. How are you?
Thank you, I'm good, how are you?
Good, not too bad. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
Are you good at heights?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
I'm okay.
Well, we're going to have a little conversation about you, your career, music, some of the things that you're up to at the moment. We're going to try and have this conversation before we get to the other end.
All right,
let's see how it goes.
Let's
but
go.
You know what, let's start it off really nice and easy, really nice and simple. You're a Londoner. What is your favourite mode of transport to get around London?
My favourite mode of transport is definitely the tube. It's just so easy. It can kind of get you anywhere. I feel like you can get in your own little zone. It's good for listening to music. I grew up in Harrow, so I would always get on like the Met line into Central when I was young and just bop around town, yeah.
I mean, I think one thing that's really amazing about you, you've had like a really long lasting career. I'm guessing you've spent some time going in and around to other venues in London. Can you just tell us about some of your favourite experiences when you were younger, just going to see music at different venues in London?
Yeah. Well, I really remember going to the Astoria when I was a teenager, because there would just be some like amazing club nights. You know, I'm from like the indie sleaze era when it was happening back in the day. I would go to like Frog, which I saw so many bands play there. I would go to other shows there as well. And I think it's such a shame that like we didn't protect the Astoria. It's so sad that it's not a venue anymore. But yeah, I would go. I just had the bug. I didn't get into university. All my friends were off doing something really exciting. I was working in Nando's. I'd just come out of the Brit School, which is in Selhurst in South London. So I was so hungry for that feeling that I had at the Brit School to continue.
Yeah.
So I just would like get the tube up to London. I'd go to like any gig that was happening anywhere in London. And I would get the night bus home and I would go on my own. I ended up in like random like open mic nights. I'd go to like weird like indie folk festivals, or anti-folk festivals were like a big thing then. I'd just kind of I'd go see weird theatre, I remember going to see incredible weird theatre in like London Bridge, and it was just an exciting time. And I think London is a place where like you can be on your own and like meet people. But even if you don't, like there's just so much here that
It's a vast city with like a lot of cultural and musical heritage, right?
Yeah, and I met so many people that I still know now from
Do you reckon your career would be the way it is if you didn't have, I guess, London at the epicentre of your story? Because you're talking about, you know, getting on the night bus, and the night bus never gets the love it really deserves, you know. Going to like
the
other venues.
night bus is way better than the day bus.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Way better than the day bus. There's such a community there. Yeah, no, I mean, I think I'm a very London-centric artist.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, who knows, had I grown up somewhere else, but like London is part of my story massively. I studied theatre and I sort of wrote scripts and stories, and then that just got injected into my songwriting. And I think there's a lot of sort of London storytellers, and a lot of theatre in London really impacted my music as well.
Love that.
So yeah, I think like it's definitely a massive part of who I am. Like I've travelled all over the world, and I lived in LA for 10 years, but I think if you're a Londoner, you're a Londoner forever.
No, definitely.
Never leaves you, you know.
Never ever leaves you. And do you know what? Talking of London,
Here
behind me we have the iconic O2 Arena, the home to a lot of concerts, and also the Brits. I know you mentioned you went to the Brit School, which is a staple in terms of like the UK music industry.
Yeah.
Winning a Brit Award must be like an iconic thing for you. You did it in 2008, right?
Yeah, it was mind-blowing to me because I grew up watching the Brit Awards on TV as a kid, and I was just so excited to be there. It felt very surreal. And actually, I'm remembering that there was kids from the Brit School. They invite like kids from the Brit School, or they did then anyway, that can like be in the audience.
Sick.
And I remember seeing kids that I recognised, and I spoke about how important the Brit School is because it's a free performing arts school, and having like access to performing arts, like wherever you're from, however much money you have, is like so important, because not everybody is sort of going down the like. Some people are vocational, some people are creative, and that should be accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
I won Best Female in 2008. Oh God, it's hard to remember that era. I just really remember not wanting to fall over and being so worried about that when they called my name.
Was it because you had like one too many fizzy drinks, or?
No, I was just
rosé?
wearing like giant platforms, and I'm quite clumsy, so I was really worried about it. But yeah, I won Best Female, and then the rest of kind of being backstage was a bit of a blur. There was after show parties. I remember being with Gemma Kearney and Sarah Soleimani, and I think some of the guys from Take That, I think I remember hanging out with. And I don't, it's a bit fuzzy, but when I got back to the hotel, a paparazzi chased me and, you know, tried to upskirt me, which was a big thing back in the day.
Yeah.
And the security guard from the hotel wrestled him to the ground, and it was like this really dramatic scene, and me and my sister were like screaming. But he saved the day. And luckily that's not so much of a trend.
Shout out
now,
to that security
illegal.
guard, wherever he is, whatever
yeah,
he's doing.
what a legend. Like,
What a
he really helped
legend.
me out. It was
What
really
a
nice
guy.
of him. But yeah, I loved the Brit Awards. It was very exciting for me.
Yeah. So obviously talking about the O2, it's like a big, iconic London venue, but London is a city that is rich in terms of musical history.
Yeah.
Do you have like any other venues that are like close to home or like really hold a place in your heart?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was really lucky to see Prince there. And
I'm jealous.
As we're here, I saw
jealous.
Prince there. He did an incredible show. It was long. All the lights came on in the arena, and then there was like a long break, and he did an encore, and then there was an after show party at Indigo, a smaller venue within the building, and he played for about 2 or 3 hours at an after show party, and Beverly Knight sang with him, and I'll never forget these like backing singers, and Beverly Knight was singing, "Come on, Prince, play the bass. Come on, Prince, play the bass," and he like played the bass over his shoulder, and it was just insane to see like his enthusiasm for music was just so vibrant. And I mean, he must have played for like 5 or 6 hours that night.
And I guess like when you're at that age as well, like you want to slow down. Well, I can't speak for them, but I'm guessing you don't want to go on for that long. But the fact that even up until he passed away, music was still very much.
Yeah, I think
at the
live
core.
shows and performance and musicianship were just so important to him.
Yeah. What would you say is your other favourite venue, or another one that holds a special place in your heart?
I love Shepherd's Bush Empire. I've played there quite a lot, and I've had some really important moments in my career, especially as an independent artist there. I think it's like a really beautiful venue. They really take care of you when you go there, and it's theatrical, and it feels big, but it also feels intimate. I remember seeing the Yeah Yeah Yeahs there. I think it was 11. But yeah, there are just so many incredible like you know, Brixton Academy, I've seen so many gigs. Coco, I just played Coco, I loved it. I remember seeing Jamie T play what was Nambucco, which was like a very like music pub back in the day. I think London has something for everyone, from like, you know, a random back room of a pub to like the O2.
The O2 Arena,
like,
yeah.
You've got it all here, and I think that really needs to be protected. And at the moment, that is actually under threat because the music industry has failed, doesn't take care of artists or venues, and we really need the government to help us, because 125 venues closed in 2023. More venues are kind of closing each year.
Do you know what, that was going to be my next question, because I know you speak out about it quite a lot, about grassroots activism and music. What do you think could be done? Because I know people personally who are really striving to make a career in music, but they just know that they don't have the finances, they don't have the venues to go perform at. What do you think could be done to try and, not rectify that per se, but give people a chance at the bare minimum?
No, that really makes me angry, because those young people coming up need to see a future in music, and I think the UK prides itself on its culture, and it's going to destroy it. We at the Music Venue Trust have basically suggested like a levy, which is like £1 from every stadium and concert ticket sold to go to the grassroots. Coldplay have signed up for it, Katy Perry has agreed to it, and the government have basically given the music industry in the first quarter of the year to act, because Live Nation are the main hold up in this, and they're profiting, like, you know, they're some of the most powerful people in the music industry. So also, I think we should be paid fairly for our recorded music. It's really hard to see a future in music if you're thinking like, well, what I make will be actually worthless.
Ray talks about this quite a lot, actually. I know she always speaks about producers, writers, everybody should get like a fair bit of change when they are actually producing some really great
Of course,
music.
because it's work, it's a job. And like, do we care about music? Yes. Look at Glastonbury. Every single year people are coming away saying it's the best place in the world. Well, you're not going to have artists playing soon, because who's going to, like you say, think, oh, that could be a future for me? People, just rich people? Is that what we think music should be full of? No, it should be for everyone. It should be diverse. I just think it's such a failure, and it's really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
Do you know, I really enjoy these sort of conversations, because I think a lot of people that aren't in the industry might not know what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And I think this is really good for people to just get a bit of an insight into what's actually going on.
To kind of go into the detail, to explain it to people, you paid 0.003 of a penny per stream. That doesn't add up to much. Even if people have like millions of streams, it doesn't necessarily equate to a fair wage, especially if you're in a band and you're splitting that 4 ways and then giving 20% to a manager and then you give 80% to a major label. What are you walking away with? Not a lot. And then the cost of touring has gone up, and our wages have not. So it's becoming impossible for people to go on tour at small levels.
Yeah.
Or mid levels, you know.
Really quickly, because I feel like we're just about to
We're about
descend.
to arrive.
You've got a show, Kentish Town.
I do April 9th, Kentish Town Forum.
What can we expect?
So my album Nine Sad Symphonies came out last year, and it's going to be like basically a celebration of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some really beautiful orchestrations, some string players, and a few like little secrets planned as well.
Very excited. Kate Nash, thank you very much.
Thank you.
How was your journey today?
I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're getting off
Amazing.
now.
Getting off?
I'm going to head off on the tube then.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. That is another Conversations in the Cloud, and we shall see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.